right, good afternoon. This is Catherine Taylor with Revival Web Design, and this video is being shot for J & Company Electrical Services. And what I'm going to be doing here is giving you a lot of education and information on the back end of your website. And the reason I'm doing this is to give you some value and show you exactly what your competition is doing. Why this is important is, as an small business and entrepreneurs, what we're trying to do is not just provide a lifestyle and a family that we want for our small business, but also for those that work for us. So we are the backbone. Small businesses are the backbone of the workforce here in the United States, and we want to maintain our business and not give up a lot to larger competitors. So hopping into it, we're going to cover 3 areas of focus. We're going to talk about SEO and your website's content. So SEO is search engine optimization. We're going to talk about GMB, which is Google My Business, also known as citations. Citations are your name, your address, and your phone number, how often it's actually listed on the internet. And then we're going to talk about backlinks. So when we go into a search bar and we type in a particular keyword phrase, so keywords are what people go into to the Google search bar and type in, such as Electrical Services Austin. And when I type that in and hit enter, what happens is there's 3 areas of focus on the website. At the top, you're going to have the ads, and those are those pay-per-click ads that people, every time someone clicks on them, is costing them money if they choose to go with the service or not. In the middle part is going to be the the Google Map Pack, and that's where your Google My Business comes into play. And down below is going to be all of the organic traffic. So this is all leads to websites. When we put in that particular service, when we do an area, is when it is in regards to the Google My Business. Your local relevance is what that plays into. So if we didn't even put in Austin, we put in near me. If you've done your Google My Business, then that you should pop up in that particular area. The other thing that's important to know that all these organic pages below are pages that may have been in here for a number of years or just a short period of time, but a lot of it's because this is where your search engine optimization comes into play. So when I look at your website, the one thing I do want to point out is you do have some good content, and you also have testimonials on here. That's really good for people to realize that your clients are happy. But Google likes content. So when we talk about content, it's all the information that you provide on your different pages. So on your homepage, you're looking to try to have at least 1,500 words to 2,000 words. And why that's important is a lot of the algorithms within Google, they're searching for those keywords that people are searching for. And why that's important to have them on your page is that's how Google's going to find you when they're coming through, not just your homepage, but all your service pages, that they're going to be looking for those keywords. And then lastly, you want to bring value. Google likes value. Google likes to know if you're bringing something to the people who are looking for your services. So that's one of the things that helps in providing Google with the idea that you're reputable and are a good company to have services listed under their search bar. So that is content. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to bring up your competitor. This is the #1 organic spot when I typed in Electrical Services Austin. Now there can be so many different phrases that you search for. So I'll show you that in a second, but that's part of the research that I do before we would even meet, is get through some of the information that would be important to have on your website. When we talk, it's not necessarily going to be, let's redo your entire what you have going on or give you a new page. A lot of it's geared around what's going to bring the most value to you and what is geared and shaped around the goals for your business and your budget. So with that being said, when we look at this Texas Electrical Services, so as you can see, they have a fair amount of information on their front page. They have a lot of links, and they also have a lot of maps because I think they have several different locations, but they have a lot of things that are in here, photos and information for people to read about. So that's one of the big things that we need to have in your website as well. So if I go into, this is a company called Ahrefs. This is a tool that we use to do a lot of the research. This is a paid for application. So we do this so we can make sure we have as much information as we can. So it's a lot of data. And to go through a couple of key things here, the UR is going to be the strength of your website, and the DR is your domain ratings, how trustworthy your website is or popular. Those two things are also supported by what's called backlinks and referring domains. And a backlink is essentially one link from one website to another, and they're not all created equal. So when we talk about SEO and monthly expenses, the reason why those can get a little pricier is depending upon what your competition is doing. But a lot of the backlinks actually cost money. And what that does is it pushes power to your website so that you're ranking on higher pages rather than a little bit further down. When we talk about ranking and going back to the website for, let me go back, the search results. The reason why we talk about ranking is down at the bottom, you'll see all of these different pages. This is how people fall. Like if you're on, and there's usually about 10 websites per page. So if you're in the, let's call it 90th place, then you're down here on pages like 9, 10, 11, etc. So the idea behind ranking is getting you up on these pages like 1 and 2, where when someone does a search, you're right there on top. So there's the importance of going through SEO, which is that search engine optimization. Hopping back into the information here. So we talked about the keywords. So the reason why this is important is because these are the searches that people are doing research on. Two columns when I pull this page up I'm looking at is volume and position. Volume is how often these keywords are actually searched for in a month. And this is the position on Google that you would fall. So J and Company is searched 70 times in a month, and you're in position 20, which means there's 19 other companies ahead of you that are being found before you are for that particular search. So that's what I'm going to go down here to electrician in Austin. And that particular volume is 40 times, and you're on page 97 or position 97, which is basically page about 9 or 10. So that means, once again, you have 96 other companies that are in front of you to get that particular business. So let me show you your competition. Their UR and the DR are significantly higher. They have over 120 backlinks, and they are ranking for 235 keywords. And why this is important is I'm going to show you a couple of them. So Texas Electrical is being searched 9,900 times a month, and they're in the second position. Texas Electrical Service is being searched 100 times a month. They're in the number 1 position. So I can keep going, but as you can see, this particular website has a lot of these number 1 hits. Now, it's not that you couldn't get there. One other thing I want to point out is this column right here. This is called our keyword difficulty. So this would be how hard it is to rank for these particular words. Anything over a 5 can probably take anywhere from 6 to 12 months, but that doesn't mean you can't be ranked for these. We would just look at something that's easier to rank for in order to get your website higher up on the Google search. So like this electrician's Austin is the 7. So you could easily be ranking for this in about 3 to 6 months. Okay, so last thing I want to point out on here is the organic traffic. This is how often there are particular websites being viewed per month. Now, even if you were to say get 10% of that traffic as clients, that's 99, almost 100 new clients a month. So this is why, just pointing this out and telling you about your particular website compared to your competitors, how it's important to make sure that your website is as optimized as possible, which is something that we do. And I think that's a lot of the information I was going to go through. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. What I'd love to do is sit down and do what we call a deep dive and answer any questions you might have, as well as provide any additional information that would be very helpful for you. We do these deep dives at no cost. And if you found this information valuable, we can get that scheduled. Gives me an idea of when we talk the vision that you have for your company and what direction you want to go, as well as that includes revenue for growth or expansion or even just business for slower months. And this is also a chance you get to know me to see if we're a good fit to work together. If you are interested, just respond back to the email. The other way you can get in touch with me is through revivalwebdesign21@gmail.com. And my telephone number is 757-846-0186. I just want to appreciate the time you took to take a look at this. I hope you found it helpful. And if we don't hear from you, then I'll give you a call in a couple of days just to follow up. But thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to speaking with you. Have a great day.